What do you say, everyone? My name is Jedi Joe. I am the president and co founder of 757 Geek Fandoms, and this is a special edition of Talking Geek. Guys, we pulled out all the stops tonight. Normally, you see me on a Monday night. Well, tonight is a little bit different. Guys, we are debuting or spotlighting one of the newest conventions that's brought to our area, and I can't thank the Cosmic Portal enough for letting us jump in on some of this video action that they do for us. With me, as always, is the executive vice president of 757 Geek Fandom and co-founder, Mr. Larry Garrett. Also with us, our vice president, Calibus Rand. My one of my biggest supporters. A quick story: he actually, Mr. Marky Mark, actually was one of our fans, you might say, in one of our panels, and has just been with us ever since. We love him to death. And then one of my own students from my Saber class and my cosplay, you might say, consultant, Miss Lady Gray, and then my wife beside me that handles all the personal stuff inside of all that thing. So, guys, we are here today to talk with some of the staff from ConVivial. Did I say it right this time, Mr. Butch?
Ask Anita. She
Yes.
knows better than I do. I have the southern accent, so I can't.
Yes.
Guys, we have Mr. Butch and Miss Anita from ConVivial. Please, guys, introduce yourself.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Anita Bruckert, and I am currently the acting chair of Convivial, while our current chair is taking care of some family stuff. I started out doing conventions in 2006 with RavenCon and realized that these are my people. And so I got involved in the vendor room, and then just kind of worked my way around and enjoyed everybody so much that I just didn't leave. And I worked with MarsCon and Mysticon. And my girlfriends and I had always kind of joked around a little bit about how cool would it be if we actually had like a women-run convention, or, make it in a different state every year, in a different place every year. We'll call it inconsistent. And we had joked about that for years and years. So this year, Jenny decided that she was going to go ahead and do it. And she messaged me and she said, "Hey, if I start a convention, will you help me?" And I said, "Well, first of all, you're crazy. And second, yes, of course I'll help you." So that's how I got involved here. Background for me, I did theater and costumes for a long time. And the last show I did was 232 costumes. And I decided that was the last time that I was going to spend that much effort sewing things. So now I just do things for myself for fun.
Oh, wow. That's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Miss Lady Gray does a lot of costuming and everything, too. She's actually had to repair some of my stuff.
Nice.
Mr. Butch, please, would love to know more about you, sir.
Okay, well, I started fandom in 1982, showing my age. I joined the Hampton Roads Science Fiction Association, HROSFA, and they were at that time the first convention, the first organized club in the Tidewater area. They had formed in 1977. So they started running at that time a convention called SciCon. It was held in Virginia Beach most of the years. It started out in Hampton and then moved to Virginia Beach. So the first time right after I joined in 82, they held the convention, and I went and volunteered, and I walked in and asked them where they needed help. And they said, "Well, the con suite needs somebody." So I walked up and I talked to the person in the con suite, Terry Gray, who's unfortunately has passed away. So God rest his soul. But he basically said, "Here's the keg of beer. Here's the here is the chips and there's the drinks, have fun. And he walked away, and I ended up running it the whole weekend long. So that just got me started. And then I took over running the Con Suite for many years. And then I, see, with SciCon 7 and SciCon 9 and SciCon 13, I was the vice president, or the vice chair, sorry. And I was chairman for SciCon 8. CJ Cherry was my guest of honor, and met quite a few wonderful people there. Then, of course, I went from there, and I was in Hiroshima. I was also the president and the vice president of the Hiroshima for a while, and then I took over the editorship of the Liberated Cork, which was their fanzine, and I ran that for about, I don't know how many years it was. And then, of course, through Hiroshima and through PsyCon, I got involved with MarsCon. And I ran MarsCon for 20, I guess it was for 20 of the 30 something years I was involved. I was either chairman or vice chair of it. And then I was recently I was the first president of the corporation. And of course, now I've resigned from that. So, and then when it came to ConVivial, I just got a call from a message from Jenny saying, would you be interested in being an advisor? So I said, yeah, I'll help you out. So Jenny, so when Jenny and actually Mike of RavenCon went out and started looking for hotels, I met with them, and we went to a couple of hotels in Williamsburg, which I happened to know the people in because I had dealt with them before, or they were friends of my wife who had worked in the hospitality places up in Richmond, up in Williamsburg. And so that's when we came to where we at in Clarion, because that was where MarsCon was at from 2006 through 2012. And the general manager, owner, I'm confused about what his actual position is, but Mr. Kiani has just loved us. And so he hated it when we outgrew it and had to leave. But so that's how I got involved. So, I think that it's ConVivial is headed in a great direction. It's capturing a lot of what I felt was the best, because during the time that we were at this hotel, I think that's when MarsCon made a name for itself because of all the wonderful things we did there. And I see the same thing going on with ConVivial. There's a whole lot of great ideas. You can't do them all the first year. And I'm sure as we go along, continue, that they'll be adding a whole lot of other stuff that will bring people in, and everybody will have a good time. So, and it helps that y'all guys are all interested in coming and helping us out, because that's what really all this is about. And then one last word, I'm going to turn it over to Anita to tell us all about the con. The one thing you need to remember when you run in a convention is that you need to surround yourself with some good people. So when Jenny had her problems that she's had to step aside, Anita has stepped up and has really taken on a lot of problems and trying to get things straightened out and getting back on track and dealing with a whole bunch of people. And she'll tell you some of the stuff that she's just recently gotten the people to come. And I'm looking forward to at least one of the groups that's coming. So go ahead, Anita, tell us all about it.
Thanks, Butch. Jenny, here's a little known fact. I don't think anybody except for maybe myself and Jenny know about this, but when she had the idea and she messaged me, within 20 minutes, she had 27 people saying, yes, I will help you. So she has a lot of support of people that may not be able to help during the year, but can help at the convention. So she's really good at getting people to like say, yeah, of course I'll help you. So thank you, Butch, for that. However, a little bit about it. So we have Keith DeCandido as our author guest of honor, who's awesome. If you're not familiar with him, he has written for movies, comic books. He's written several books. He's probably more well known for his Star Trek work and his Star Trek books. And then we have Angela Pritchett. She is our cosplay guest of honor. She's amazing. She's a triple threat in every way, shape, or form because she's an amazing cosplayer, but she's also done a Doctor Who cookbook. She also plays music. She's just absolutely amazing and one of the nicest people you could ever meet. And then our music guest of honor is Hip Hop McDougal, which is an awesome duo, super fun. And on top of that, because Jenny wanted the convention to be very music focused, fandom focused, was strong on cosplay and music, we also have a lot of podcasters as well that are going to be coming. So as far as the music goes, we have, other than Hip Hop McDougal, we also have Salacious Crumbles, the Blibbering Humdingers, Boogie Nights, and then the League of Space Pirates, which is a cosplay band. So if you want to think Guar meets B-52s, that kind of gives you kind of the vibe that they have. And of course, we also have some solo acts that are coming. So there's a ton of music, a ton of events. I had this crazy idea to do a blanket fort competition. So we are having a blanket fort competition and we're using that as the springboard. So if anybody, when they're done with the competition, if they want to donate their sheets or their pillows, anything for that, we're going to donate that to the local homeless shelter, Fish. So we're going to collect blankets and clothing and all that, and canned goods as well, because they're also the food pantry. So we'll be collecting that for them at the convention. So we're trying to incorporate as much as we can that we're doing and give back to the community at the same time. We've got adult Mad Libs. I'm going to have adult coloring time, kids coloring time. I have some breakfast 80s cartoons with cereal and Pop-Tarts, because how can you go wrong with that, right? I threw out an idea. I said, can we schedule nap time? And I think I'm just going to have to like write myself off on the schedule for like Anita's nap time. But I seriously thought about having like snacks and naps, but that's for maybe down the road. But we got a lot of good panels too. We've, because we want to have it more like a workshop where you can come hang out with your friends, have a great slumber party, have a ton of fun, but get something out of it. So we're also having stuff for musicians and artists and cosplayers and writers. So panels like how to create a good set list so that your production is more successful. We've got workshops for authors, developing words, making different languages, things like that. We have a panel, robots, although my friend who's helping me with the programming, he says, maybe we should add automatons in there. I'm like, no, robots is really fun. So that may change. But yeah, an adult Mad Libs. And I even have a lady that's going to be doing some sound healing. We've got Pendulums 101. Vendors, I have amazing vendors. I've got the fudge guy because, of course, we have to have some candy vendors, right? But then I also have Stabby Tabby, who is a licensed piercer. She's also a massage therapist. She comes from the medical field, but she's a lot of fun. I have a henna lady. We've got the fairy hair lady. So we've got a ton of stuff going on. And then, of course, on top of that, for kids, other than the coloring, of course, we have science experiments and fun stuff to do and things to build. So there's going to be a little bit, I think, for everybody.
It definitely sounds like it. By the way, this is our formal kind of introduction to you. I used to run a local group here before they went under. Me and Butch have worked together on past conventions and everything. And about 3 years ago, me and the big man that you see on the other side of you, Big L, We created 757 Geek Fandoms, and shortly after that, we crossed paths with Calibus Rand from the Cosmic Portal, and then Dave. We all got connected. There was a particular panel that we had at MarsCon, which was called Lucas versus Roddenberry. It's where me and the big man just kind of fries each other about our fandoms.
Mhm.
And Mark and his wife was like our number one fans. I don't think they've missed our show since then, even through COVID. So they've been there. Miss Gray, she's came on staff. She's actually a student of mine. I teach a competitive lightsaber class, and that's one of the things that I was big known for. That's where I got the nickname Jedi Joe, because I teach lightsaber techniques and sparring and everything. So that's kind of how we got into the door. But Big L came up with a new type of panel. I'd like for him to tell you a little bit about it. These ideas have been submitted, so hopefully we'll give you a little preview on what's going on. Big L, why don't you tell her what we got going on?
So, Lucas versus Roddenberry and DC versus Marvel has always been kind of our way of doing things. Like I said, it's more of a fun back and forth between Jedi Joe and myself. And I wanted something that kind of brought the audience in a little bit more than what we were doing in the past. And anything you guys know with panels, you got to keep it new, you got to keep it fresh, you got to keep it involved. So I wanted to involve the audience into an actual panel that gave them some interaction with us. I am a huge wrestling fan. Anybody that's on this particular show right now will tell you I am probably the biggest wrestling fan you'll ever meet, outside of probably George Pontus. And I wanted something that would kind of along our versus model, but interactive in the same way. So I came up with this panel called Fandom versus Fandom. Now, this is any fandom, whether it be, your standard Star Trek, Star Wars, Batman, DC, Marvel. It really doesn't matter. But we're going to pick, we're going to have, two captains, and we're going to have five people, two teams, and they're going to go against each other, so 5 on each side, and they're going to have to give their best 90-second wrestling promo on their fandom. So they've got to really sell it with their wrestling promo. They've got to get it in front of they got to get the mic. They got to really be hard about it. They got to go hard. They got to, bring it home. And then, of course, I will definitely have my own promo against Jedi Joe and maybe a few of the audience members. It's kind of a back and forth type thing. We really want to bring that home and make it interactive for the people that are attending, because sometimes when you're doing a panel, you're sitting there and you got somebody, they're on their phone and they're doing stuff, whatever, and they're really not listening. And while, that's fun and they're there and they may be enjoying it, but it's almost like you're talking to a blank audience. Well, this way it gets the audience involved and it gives them a chance to really interact with the team that's there and to get to know us. If you've seen any of our stuff, I can be, I'm a one-liner right back at Jedi Joe. He likes to play off as well as I play off of him. There's usually some sort of a video or PowerPoint presentation to kind of move the topic along that side of things. But I think that would be a great way for us to introduce this panel to the ConVivial team and everything. And I wanted to say, Anita, that I really do appreciate the fact that you have vindicated me in the ConVivial name, because Jedi Joe and a few of us kind of went back and forth, and I always at the very beginning heard ConVivial, and I was like, no, it's pronounced ConVivial. I can read, I got this. And no, it's ConVivial. So when we talked to Butch at MonsterCon, I said, Butch, how is it said? And he goes, it's ConVivial. And the fact that you actually vindicated that tonight, I wanted to personally thank you, because that just proves that I'm right, which I always am. I may not always be right, but I am never wrong. So Jedi Joe knows that, and now the fact that he's heard it here live, thank you, man. I appreciate you so much.
Well, you see now, what the problem with that is you went to Google to find out how to really pronounce it, and you know what else? Do you know what else?
Don't knock
you know what
Google.
Else?
Never
it doesn't matter what you know. Star Trek sucks.
Never knock the Google. Don't knock the Googles. You can knock the Bings all you want, but don't knock the Googles.
Miss Anita, this is how Big L and I work. Our actual Lucas versus Roddenberry was me, him, and our family sitting there watching Fanboys. If you've ever seen it, it's a very good movie. And me and him were back and forth at each other. And then all of a sudden his wife says, y'all need to turn that into a panel. Well, we debuted that probably many years ago. Like I said, Mark and his wife joined us, and it's been something that we do for a while now. Matter of fact, we went from showing slides on a telephone to now Big L has actually got a PowerPoint presentation. So, it's actually been an honor for us to be able to give back to conventions like yourself and to show what little bit of talents that we have, and especially the love that we have for, our fandoms.
Yeah.
But if anybody is interested in purchasing tickets or whatever, how do they do that?
Right through our website. It's ConVivialVA.com. You can get tickets there. There's other things that you can get as well. Everybody that comes to the convention, obviously, will have a swag bag. But I'm also making party bags if you'd like to have a party bag, which will have pretty much everything you need for a miniature movie night and some extra fun stuff that you can have as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But on your note, when you're talking about having these panels and going back and forth, that's kind of what we're focusing on too. It almost like rule 194 in the rules of acquisition. Know your customer before they walk in the door. We want to know our fans so before they walk in the door, so that we know that they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and for me, I used to do stand-up comedy, and it was also for stage talking and everything. And I think it means a lot when you have, I've been to panels where people just turn something on, you watch it for 45 minutes, they don't even give you a Q&A, and it's so boring where the people that you see in front of you, we interact with our guests. Matter of fact, Big L said it best. I bet you we've caught so many people off guard because they were staring in their phones, and the next thing you know, we pulled them in.
Right.
So, again, it's an honor for us to be able to talk to you guys. Like I said, I've worked with Butch in the past, so he's an awesome guy. And we are very excited for ConVivial. I like ConVivial, but anyways.
Well, I'm thrilled. I am absolutely so stoked about everybody that's coming and all the stuff we have coming up for everybody. I mean, I shouldn't say this. I half wish we had a bigger space so that I could do more, in what we have. But I think what we have is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
We have to kind of. It's the first year. We kind of have to start kind of semi-small and work our way up, and that's the smart thing to do. You may like to do a lot more, but we can't. Just a little comment real quick, like back on the panels, panel ideas, one of the best panels that I ever did was at a RavenCon, and it was about Downton Abbey. And nobody was on it except for me and a guy who had never seen a single episode of Downton Abbey. So what I ended up doing was I knew that the room was full of fans, and that's exactly what I did. I just turned it into me asking them questions and them telling everybody who their favorite actor was, who their favorite character, etc. And we turned it was one of the best panels that I had ever been on. And it was simply because we just turned it in and got everybody interacting. And that's a good thing to do. Mm-hmm. And since I'm talking, there's a couple of things I wanted to mention. That Anita didn't mention is we got the Creatures from the Narrow, which is Rob and Phyllis Floyd, who are going to come and do Rocky Horror for us on Saturday night. So that was a big, it was a big thing simply because I contacted them and they had already been accepted to another convention. We won't mention which one. And they said, well, we'll come and do it anyway. So we'll just leave early, grab our crew, and we'll come up and do Rocky Horror for you. And if you've been paying attention to them, they've been selling out. Every time they've done it, they've sold out the Narrow since they started doing it. So it's real popular. We also are going to have a gaming room. Right now we have about three games, and I know there's a couple more people who are wanting to run some games. But if you know Mark Geary, he's going to run some games. Chuck Stockey is going to run a series of BattleTech, and at least one of the BattleTechs is one that you can just walk up and play and enter the game anytime you want to. He'll just put you in the game and you'll start playing. And of course, you can leave whenever you want to too. So, and then there's several other things. Oh, some of the people that are going to be there that a lot of you will recognize. We're going to have the Richard. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly. I always blow it. Richard Cyberhoff of the Old Dominion Daleks. I've known Richard since Psychon days, and so he's going to be there along with David Lee of Hatton Cross Steampunk. And so if you've seen some of his creations, he's talked about bringing the one that he's just did for his new grandson, and he hangs his grandson who's not even a year old yet. I think he maybe be a year by ConVivial, but he hangs him around and he walks in a robot, and when you look in the front, you see his grandson in the mirror in the front, the window in the front. So you think that he's the one that's actually driving the robot, but it's so. And then there's several other great groups that are coming, and we'll have a lot for people to look at and people to talk to. So, and all of these are really. And if you remember, the year that MarsCon did the werewolf theme, there was a person who created a werewolf and was walking around the con. That was Michael Pero. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. I blow last names bad. But Michael is a great costumer, and you've recognized him once you've seen him. He's been coming for quite a few years, and he's part of the Hatton Cross Steampunk. And I suspect also that David's daughter will be showing up. And she was the one that really got David started in fandom, because she was 13 years old and she wrote a novel. And David came to MarsCon and bought a table and sat there to push her book. And while he was there, he saw all the different steampunk people walking around, and that started him. And David has been national guest at big steampunk conventions. We're all over the country, and so he just comes to the con, well, because he likes us. He likes me. He's known me for quite some time. So when I mentioned that we were bringing up ConVivial, he's, oh yeah, that sounds good to me. So
yeah, thanks, Butch.
You're welcome.
Well, you know what, Butch? You were talking about Richard from Old Dominion Daleks. I still haven't forgotten about that particular MarsCon where you challenged me and Richard to do a particular panel. This happened right before COVID, so I haven't forgotten about it, and I've even mentioned it to Richard in passing, that you came up with what if a Dalek versus a Jedi.
Oh, okay. I may have not been the one that actually came up with that idea. If it was before COVID, it was probably Crystal Small and her crew that came up with those ideas. They were. I was able to handle programming it because back in that that last hotel that Mars Khan was in DoubleTree was so many rooms that we could come up with. We could do, yeah, like Anita said, she would love to have the amount of rooms that they had in that hotel. But yeah, so that was probably Anita that came up with it, because I mean not Anita, Crystal, because I didn't do any programming until 2022 when the con kind of had to we had to somehow to revive the con, post COVID. So
Well, for my guys, Mark, Lady Gray, Big L, of course, Calibus, did y'all have anything else extra that you needed to find out from Convivial while we're here?
I didn't have anything
Big
else,
L?
but I did want to say that I know for myself and for my wife, whatever we were discussing it and things. Should you guys need any help with like the con suite, things like that, one thing we enjoy doing is cooking and serving and that kind of thing. That's if you ask anybody again here, you'll find out that's kind of our shtick. So if there's something that you need help with that or whatever, or any other thing you may need help with, feel free to let us know. We're more than happy to help out and volunteer in times we didn't have panels or anything like that going on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mark, Lady Gray, y'all have anything for our guest?
I'm just super excited. I'm already planning. I've got one costume in the works, and I've got another one in my head. So because I've already got a rack full, but why not make two more with just
Can't
2
have
months
too
to
many.
go. So
you sound like a friend of mine who may be listening or watching, Saida, because she's part of the group, and she's the same way. It's like she may have 100 costumes, but she can't wear. She's got to have a new one for this con, or for another con. So
I've got a perfectly good Jedi costume, but I saw an idea, so now why not make another one?
Mark, do you have anything?
No, I just want to say that I'm excited as well for the con, especially since this is going to be something completely new. It's going to be fun to see how this progresses. So I can't wait to get there. And like always, yeah, I'm here to help wherever I can. If you just need anything, just ask. Again, like Big L said, I love to cook as well. So that's not, it's something I do all the time and always excited to do it.
All right. Miss Anita, Butch, I normally end my Talking Geek show with what I'm geeking out about. Is there anything new that you can geek out with us that could be like an exclusive? Lay it on us. Give us something new. You have something that we haven't heard yet?
I don't know if I have anything that you haven't heard yet. I
That's
was
okay.
so thrilled by the ending of Loki that I took one of the lines from He Who Remains and I made it into my own meme, and I'm thinking about putting a poster up of it. So it was a really good ending.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's what I like to do is geek out. Butch, I know you've been around for a while, so I know you can geek out with us. What you got for us?
Nothing really. All I've been rewatching some Babylon 5 for the first time in quite some time. So I've been rewatching that and trying to remember some of the things that just how good Claudia Christian was as Ivanova. She was, to me, made the show. No, I mean, I actually started rewatching recently. You can find it on YouTube. All the episodes of the Green Hornet. Watch a little bit of Bruce Lee. Yeah. I mean, the first time I saw a Bruce Lee movie was in San Francisco in Chinatown, or in a town. Well, I don't know if it was in Chinatown, but it was in San Francisco. And, of course, 95% of the people in the audience were, the Chinese from Chinatown. So it was a unique experience. But yeah, I've been around a long time. I'm too old. Well, I turned 72 in February.
No way.
Hey, you just turned that around and be 27.
I act like I'm 27, but I am 72.
Well, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of our show. We look forward to being a part of ConVivial. I know we're all excited. We're going to be having to start cranking things up, getting things out of storage and everything here soon, and finishing up on ideas. So I will end it as I always have. Thank you guys for popping in, saying hello. Miss Anita, thank you so much. Butch, thank you so much also. Please get in touch with us in however way we can help. And as always, guys, live long and prosper. May the force be with you. Hey, Nanu, Nanu. And guess what, guys? I will be back. Y'all take care.
Thanks for watching. This has been a Cosmic Portal production.